man gets up and cooks something for you while you're sick, that's not basic.
No,
what is
basic.
it?
That's basic. I bet you your other half would say, no, that's basic.
And if it is basic, congratulations to me for learning what's basic today and not overly praising something that is basic, because I maybe have been overly praising things that are basic.
No, it's basic.
Definitely cooking for me. If I can't cook for myself and we live in the same house together, that's basic.
But even if we don't live in the same house,
because we still gotta eat.
If I don't feel well, and regardless of me having the capability of taking care of myself, if you care about and you love me, I would think that would be a thought process of, even if I can't cook, let me make sure you're fed.
Right.
Let me make sure you have the medicine or whatever that you need to be okay.
And I guess to me, hearing you say it is just beyond basic.
Okay, wow. I understand. I get
like
it.
if somebody, and maybe
because,
but maybe because I've been in situations where they did not care. Yeah. Man gets up and cooks something for you while you're sick, that's not basic.
No,
what is
basic.
it?
That's basic. I bet you your other half would say, no, that's basic.
And if it is basic, congratulations to me for learning what's basic today and not overly praising something that is basic, because I maybe have been overly praising things that are basic.
No, it's basic.
Definitely cooking for me. If I can't cook for myself and we live in the same house together, that's basic.
But even if we don't live in the same house,
because we still gotta eat.
If I don't feel well, and regardless of me having the capability of taking care of myself, if you care about and you love me, I would think that would be a thought process of, even if I can't cook, let me make sure you're fed.
Right.
Let me make sure you have the medicine or whatever that you need to be okay.
And I guess to me, hearing you say it is just beyond basic.
Okay, wow. I understand. I get
like
it.
if somebody, and maybe
because,
maybe because I've been in situations where they did not care. Yeah.
So I saw this video in the wonderful world of TikTok. Y'all know I'm going to say it. And I immediately wanted to give my opinion on it. First thing I want to say is that we're at a state right now when it comes to relationships, toxicity, the talking phase, the dating phase. We're in a space right now that I personally feel you cannot over quote unquote praise. That's the word that they use. You cannot quote unquote praise your mate. Okay? That's my opinion, first of all. I don't think that there is a problem with expressing gratitude for what is considered the quote unquote bare minimum in any situation, because at this point, women are standing around with their hands out, expecting you to go above and beyond, expecting you to pay all their bills, expecting all of these things for you. And I feel like if you are in a space that you're in a relationship with someone, okay, you should not be looking at things within the relationship and say, okay, well, that's the bare minimum. Let me not say anything about that. Let me not acknowledge that. Oh, well, that's the bare minimum. Let me not acknowledge this, because it becomes a thing that it's like you're in this relationship and you're walking around with a checklist. And you know I'm going to say it all the time, if a man were to do the same exact thing, have a checklist in front of him and say, okay, did she, do this? Did she clean the house? Did she cook me food? Did she serve it to me? Did she pour my drink? Did she have dinner ready when I got home? If he were to walk around with a checklist, we would be like, oh my God, that's narcissistic. That's crazy. Why would he do that? And for women to sit around and talk about, what the bare minimum is, or, well, he's doing this, he's doing that, and this shouldn't be applauded and this should. I think that there's nothing wrong with expressing gratitude for anything that your partner does. Anything. And it might seem like the bare minimum, but again, if women are telling the truth, okay, because we have, women have painted this narrative for a long time. Men ain't this, men ain't that. They don't do nothing. They don't cook. They don't clean. They don't this. Oh, when I'm sick, I still have to cook. I still have to clean because these men, they act like children. They don't do anything. This is what the women say. So if that were to be true, then that would mean a man who cooks for you is not average, unless these women are lying. So this puts the conversation actually back onto the women. So wait a minute. So a man cooking for you is a bare minimum. So why y'all say that men ain't this and men ain't that, and they don't do all these things, and that they're useless in the house, and that when they go quote unquote 50-50, it's not for cooking, it's not for cleaning, that the men don't cook. You have to do all the cooking in the household if when you're not sick or when you're not feeling well or, when you just don't feel like it, he doesn't step up and do that for you too. Are y'all being real about those conversations? Because it's starting to sound like you guys are just saying stuff to say it at this point. When it feels good to you, you say, "Oh, that's not the bare minimum." And then in this next conversation, if you're talking to a next group of women, you're saying, "Oh, yeah, these men don't do anything. I have to do it all." So what is true? Another point that I want to make is that women have no problem, saying thank you or showing gratitude to the people around them when they do things for them. The only time that they have to stifle themselves or see if they want to say thank you or see if it's a bare minimum or not, or, make sure that they're not over congratulating or over thanking somebody is when it is with their spouse. I think that it is common nature, it's common decency that if somebody does something kind for you, because whether you guys are in a relationship or not, whether you guys have been together, lived together, in love with each other, and you're sick and that person is taking care of you, it does not matter. They still do not have to. It's not an obligation. I'm just being honest. I'm not saying that that's not along the lines of a relationship, but it is not their 100% duty, obligation to have to do these selfless things for you. It's not. So if somebody does something out of the kindness of their heart, you should say thank you. You should express gratitude. Let me give you an example of what I mean by that. If you are sick, okay, and your mother comes over and she brings you a large pot of soup to make you feel better with some medicine, with some this, with some that, she is not obligated to do so just because you're her child, just because you may be a single person. And what would you do? Oh my gosh, thank you so much. But when it comes to somebody in the house with you, your man, you're like, oh, well, I don't got to say thank you because if it wasn't for, when he was sick, I did it too. When I was this, and it's like, it becomes this thing. Sorry, y'all, my hair is falling. It becomes this thing that it's like, you're just, like I said, walking around with this list of information, waiting to see what this person's going to do. And that is not how relationships thrive in the least bit. When you're over here keeping a tally. Organic relationships or relationships that people are just in love and are, having a peaceful space between the two of them. They're like, on the same wavelength together. Are people who are just able to be free in their natural element. They're able to say thank you without feeling like they're being taken advantage of. Or without feeling like, oh, well, if I'm too nice to him, he gonna treat me bad. If you have that mentality, you're not ready for a relationship anyway. Because anything kind that a man does for you, you're gonna be sitting there. Is this the bare minimum? Is this overly? Oh, well, if I say thank you like this, is he gonna take it like this? You're not able to be authentic. So how can you expect organic growth within your relationship if you're sitting there on the sidelines? Instead of acting like somebody who's a team player, you're acting like the referee. How is that going to help and help you grow into a happy, wholesome relationship? How is that possible? How? You're going to be sitting there, like I said, the whole time acting like a spectator. You're not going to be able to actually be involved or be happy or be loving within the relationship. It won't be possible for you. It'll be actually impossible for you to do. You cannot be having two mindsets in one relationship at the same time. It's unhealthy. Because at some points, when you feel like it's a little bit below the bare minimum, or you're feeling like, he's not doing certain things or whatever, then you're going to be against him. Oh, well, you see, because my friend said that if he don't do this, then he don't do this. Now you're looking at him sideways. Then the next minute he turns around and he does something else. Now you're like, oh, thank you. It's unhealthy. It's completely unhealthy. I'm sorry that my hair been messing up this whole little thing, but it's completely unhealthy. And I wish that women would understand that we're in this together. The whole point of a relationship is to be together, to grow together, to be the best version of yourself together. Not to be sitting around thinking of what's normal, what's basic, what's this. It doesn't make any sense. How is that going to aid into repairing relationships? We can't talk about what's the bare minimum or what's not the bare minimum from the man's side when a lot of these women are not bringing anything to a relationship except for a nagging attitude, disrespect, all their baggage that they have to bring to this man to try to align them, figure out if he is going to be their protector, be their provider, or advocate for their childhood traumas. We're not in the space to have these conversations where personally that I feel like we can just shift the blame and start asking men if what they're doing is enough, because for years men have been sitting there being told that everything that they've done is not enough. That's what they've constantly been told. We need to be fixing ourselves, fixing our attitudes, making sure that we're coming with a humble heart. How do we know we're coming with a humble heart? Gratitude comes easy to you. Gratitude is natural to you. Not analyzation. Is that enough? Is that good? Is that bad? It doesn't make sense. It's counterproductive. And it's showing a lot of egotistical ways. Because this is not talking about the vetting stages, or this is not talking about vetting somebody to get into a relationship. If that's what the conversation was about, it'd be a whole different story. This is a conversation about the person that you're already in a relationship with. And you want to know what's the bare minimum, what's good enough, what's not good enough. What should be applauded, what shouldn't be applauded. Counterproductive. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions on this video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next video. Love you.